corner, own it at Checkers. Get your late night flavor fix.
From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
A $31 million project could come to Columbia County.
And $40,000 going towards keeping nostalgia alive.
But first, our top story this evening, in a move no one saw coming. The PGA Tour and Live Golf announcing they're merging into one company.
Our mouths dropped open when we heard the news this morning. Now, we don't know what it'll be called yet, but we do know an almost 3-year-long struggle over who would get the game's top players is over. Augusta National Golf Club responding to the announcement, saying it presents a positive development in bringing harmony to men's professional golf. They go on to say the Masters tournament will remain devoted to developing the game and celebrating its many virtues.
Our sports director Dan Booth with us live in the studio to break down what this means for professional golf. Dan.
The world of golf is changing. One thing we do know that helps set the stage for this merger is all the lawsuits between the three tours have been dropped. Many players were unaware of the merger when the news came down. PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan held a players meeting within the last hour and a half to discuss these major changes that few saw coming. We haven't heard some of the big name players who sided with the PGA throughout this divide, like Rory and Tiger, but Colin Morikawa tweeted, "I love finding out morning news on Twitter," adding, "Everyone thought yesterday was the longest day in golf." Phil Mickelson got straight to the point, saying, "Awesome day today." Joel Dahman says, "I've grown up being a fan of Four Aces, so maybe one day I get to play with them on the PGA Tour," referring to the group led by Dustin Johnson. Whether it's on social media or in front of a microphone, these players are letting their voices be heard.
The entities coming together or finding a way to coexist so that the best players could continue to play against each other more often and not just at the four majors right now. But in this way, I don't know if people saw it. I don't know if I ever saw it in this way.
News 12's Nick Proto caught up with Augusta's John Patrick, host of the Augusta Golf Show on WGAC Radio. To break down this topic even further, you can watch the full interview by scanning the code on your screen now. We'll hear from John Patrick on News 12 at 6 o'clock. Now, there are still a lot of questions that need to be answered, but when it comes to the fans, having most of, if not all of the best golfers in the world playing together again on a normal basis, like what we saw at the 87th Masters with Jon Rahm and Brooks Koepka going back-to-back and head-to-head in that final stretch for a green jacket, it could be a positive thing for the game of golf moving forward.
All right, thanks for that update, Dan. A lot of moving pieces in this still. Like you said, a lot of questions that need to be answered still.
I can't wait to hear what Rory has to say.
Rory and Tiger, I mean, two of the biggest names in golf. You know, you had Rory at the forefront of this entire thing, being the voice of the PGA in a way, and now the two forces combining into one. It'll be interesting to see where this goes.
It's like the Live players got paid, and then they got everything they wanted.
Absolutely.
Wow, I just can't wait to hear what everybody has to say. So, sorry, we need to move on to weather. We can talk about this all day long.
How's just happening very good out there on the roads.
All right, thanks, Chris. The man accused of killing a 13-year-old on Broad Street is now in Richmond County Jail. Gregory Thornton was extradited from Pennsylvania. Now, he is accused of killing Buddy Brown after he went downstairs from his apartment to pick up a food delivery back in March. Thornton, who's from Baltimore, was staying in Augusta at the time of the deadly shooting. Tia Jackson was also taken in custody in connection with Brown's death. She's charged with murder.
This hotel mock-up you see on your screen is an idea. It's one investors in Columbia County hope to make a reality.
It's a $31 million project still in its very early stages.
But with Columbia County rapidly growing, places to eat, shop, relax, and more are front of the mind. But what about a place to put all the visitors?
News 12's Hallie Turner breaks down how this could impact the surrounding area. Hallie.
Well, for a while, people who live in this area tell me they thought this field behind me would stay flat, full of trees, and that they would have to drive somewhere to eat and shop. But one neighbor turned investor had an idea to change that and is transforming right behind me in more ways than one. It's a project he spent, Dr. Bojeskal says the idea has always been about growth with citizens in Columbia County in the front of mind. It's a project he spent the last 2 years on. First it was the coffee shops, then filling the other storefronts around him. And now the focus is on creating a place that is not an in-and-out stay. It's a destination spot. With Lady A, the Performing Arts Center, new apartments, a restaurant, a coffee shop, clothing stores, and so much more coming to the area, one community member tells me it's a dream she's always wanted to see come to life.
I know it's really fun to stay in a hotel, and it would be really great to just like relax in a hotel, but if you could go out and spend time at like the park or at a pizza place or even in this coffee shop, which is amazing, that'd be even better. And I think people will see the charm of it too, for sure.
And when we last talked to the investor, they were waiting on a feasibility study, those results to come back to see if the area could support a hotel. And coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we dive deeper into those results and what all could come with the hotel.
All right, thanks for that, Hallie. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster says he is deploying 150. A North Augusta staple is trying to preserve its nostalgic feel. The way they're doing it, with a new $40,000 grant.
Our Emma Ellis spoke with the owner of Snowcap about what they are doing and what they plan to do with this money.
Since its opening in 1964, the Snowcap has been a staple for the people of North Augusta.
It has been incredible the support that the community gives this restaurant, and we just want to show the same love back to the community.
With the money from the Backing Historic Small Restaurants grant, Snowcap owner Havard Ushery plans to add some renovations while keeping that historic feel.
We're going to improve some of the ordering boxes out front. There's an audio system we want to get. We have some tile work left to finish. There's a long list of things that we still want to do.
With the music playing over the sound system, the drive-in ordering parking spots, and the soda fountain, from the second you pull up to the drive-in, that 60s feel sets in.
That's our genre, is that nostalgia and that historic feel.
The drive-in also serves as a place for people with a love for historical cars to share their passion.
Every third Saturday we have cruise-in, so you get a lot of classic cars, everything from a Model A to, a newer Corvette.
This grant from American Express will provide the Snowcap with the funds to keep this piece of North Augusta history in pristine condition. 25 historic small restaurants across the United States have been awarded the Backing Historic Small Restaurants grant for a total of $1 million in grant money. In North Augusta, Emma Ellis, on your side.
Cool stuff there. And if you've never been,
Don't look at me like
it's
that.
worth going. It's
Don't look at me
definitely
like that.
worth going.
I've never been there, but I definitely have to try it out. I always forget about it. It's just tucked in
Yeah,
back there.
it's right behind First Baptist North
I
Augusta.
know where it's at.
Yeah,
I know where it's at. It reminds me of the movie Cars.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the old nostalgic feel. And how cool is it that it's one of very few to get that honor?
Yeah, I think it is pretty cool.
Good for
Especially
them.
around the country.
Okay, if you're a fan of peaches, this season's produce is, well, likely to disappoint. We'll take a closer look at why after the break. Chris?
Even a bad peach is still a pretty good peach, so I'll still take it. Looking forward to that. High temperature today, 92 for the first time in a while. It actually felt like early summer. The low this morning, 63. Still technically half a degree below average for this day, but there is warmer weather on the horizon. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast coming up.
Time and temp.
In Allendale, and there's your 7-day forecast. A cloudy, cool day on Thursday, 80 degrees, 40% chance of rain, mostly sunny with low humidity Friday and Saturday, 58 Saturday morning, 88 Saturday afternoon.
All right, thanks, Chris. Georgia and South Carolina peach crops took a hit this year.
It's a pretty big one. Our State House reporter Abby Gasoris joins us now with how peach farmers are coping.
Middle Georgia is the top producer of peaches. Experts say 85 to 95% of the peach crop this year was lost after a cold snap in March.
I like ice cream. That's my favorite.
For Amber and her family,
I got the big cup yesterday, so I got the little cup today.
eating peach ice cream and buying peaches at Dickey Farms is a tradition.
And I want to come over here and enjoy what we've always done. It means a lot to us.
While there are a few peaches on the shelves, this year Farmer Lee Dickey says they won't be shipping their sweet Middle Georgia peaches to grocery stores, just selling what they have here at the family farm.
And so in a normal year, we might pick 10,000 bins or so of peaches. This year we may pick like 300 or 400 bins.
estimates they lost 90% of their peach crop. The farm has been in the family for generations. This is the worst peach crop they've had in the last 20 years.
If it's running irrigation or, wind fans, it's only about 130 peach trees per acre. And so that's not a lot of trees on an acre, and an acre is a lot of ground to kind of cover.
What happened this year isn't necessarily going to be repeated next year, and I think the peach farmers will likely have a better chance of getting a good crop than next year. But that's a long time to wait if all you grow is peaches.
Pam Knox, a crop specialist, says researchers are finding new methods to protect peach orchards. A cellulose that can protect the peach blossoms from frost, and genetic modifications to help peaches withstand drastic temperature changes. For the peach lovers here in Middle Georgia, they're just glad Dickey Farm still has some here at their farm.
It's good. Yeah.
People say the peaches this year are just as big and just as juicy. They just paid a little more. In Musella, I'm Abby Kasoris.
All right, thanks, Abby. A huge announcement from Apple introducing one of its most expensive products ever. We'll take a look at the tech giant's new augmented reality headset coming up after the break.
First Alert Radar.
From Xfinity, home of the 10G network.
Apple pulling back the curtain for a new product that promises to take you into another dimension. An augmented reality headset that basically puts a computer on your head.
Yeah, it's insane. It's Apple's most expensive gadget yet. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker takes a look at the new Vision Pro headset and whether it's the future or Apple's most expensive failure ever.
What the Tech, sponsored by Wow Internet.
Apple introducing several new products at its spring event, but everyone paying attention wanted to see the one more thing. Apple's been working on a headset for several years, and now we know what it's called and what it's going to do. Apple calls Vision Pro its most ambitious product ever, may also be its riskiest.
In its announcement, Apple never called it a virtual reality headset, but rather a headset computer and augmented reality, which means you can still see your surroundings while you use it. The emphasis is on productivity and entertainment rather than gaming.
Your surroundings become an infinite canvas.
Even demonstrating how people can see multiple screens by turning their heads, showing a man wearing the headset walking through the office. It also showed how the Vision Pro allows users to watch movies immersed in a theater-like setting and joining FaceTime calls.
You can join a group call and see everyone life size.
And how do they see you? Well, this is where it gets amazing, if not a little weird. The headset scans your face and movements ahead of time.
It delivers a natural representation which dynamically matches your facial and hand movement.
And there are no controllers, but users will be able to click icons and control the computer using only their eyes and fingers. Virtual reality has been around for years without ever gaining a huge audience outside of video gamers. Headsets are uncomfortable, the battery life isn't good enough to watch a long movie. So can Apple do what other companies haven't when it comes to headsets?
Apple doesn't have product failures. The iPhone, Apple Watch, and iPad, all huge success, but it may be difficult to gain a huge audience for the Vision Pro with a starting price of $3,500. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
And Apple said the new Vision Pro augmented reality headset will be released next year. We'll see how that does. We'll keep track of that.
If we can afford it.
All right, your lake forecast looking good. It'll be another hot one out there for tomorrow. Slight chance for the afternoon storm. The water temperature right now at 77. And while it is warm at the moment, there are changes on the way. We'll take another look at your 7-day forecast coming up.
All right.
1-800-443-7474. There's never been a better time. That's 1-800-443-7474.
A 20-year-old from Cherokee County, Georgia, preparing to represent our country at the Special Olympic World Games in Germany. Joseph Caleb Guy will be competing in both the 200 and 500-meter kayaking competition, as well as the 200-meter tandem event in Berlin later this month.
That's pretty awesome. We here at News 12 wish him and the rest of the competitors good luck. The World Games start on the 17th through the 25th. I think I remember when we did a story with him.
Yeah. And, I mean, Berlin?
That's pretty
It's
cool.
going over to Germany? That's pretty amazing.
And they train pretty hard for
Yeah,
that, too.
absolutely. So, best of luck to him. That's so cool.
All right, we are tracking some rain and thunderstorms on our radar network this afternoon. Most of it at this point in Burke County, but we did get some video in out of Hepzibah showing some hail falling in that area, and most of it on the small side. But either way, stronger thunderstorms will continue for a couple of more hours. But as we get cooler and cooler in the evening, these showers are going to start to weaken. Another shower there in the northern tip of Jefferson County, stretching into southern McDuffie County, back into Warren County as well. Again, threat for severe weather very, very low, but we did have a warning just a while ago. These showers will continue to decrease over the next 2 hours. We'll have dry skies overnight, 79 at 10 o'clock in the morning, 89 for the afternoon high. We'll close out with your 7-day forecast. A wet, cool day on Thursday. Weekend looks pretty good.
All right, thanks for that, Chris. That's all the time we have. Stick with us. We have much more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.